and welcome to the Historics auction here at the Farnborough International Exhibition Centre. The auction in May is happening right now. We've got 168 lots to get through. Anything take your particular fancy, Tom?
Plenty, and I'm going to take you through them.
Let's go.
Kicking things off with a bang then is one of my firm favourites of the whole auction here. This is an SLS final edition. As it suggests, this is the final version that they put out. Obviously, you've got the SLS standard variant, one of which I actually own. You've got the SLS Black Series, you've got the SLS GT, but this is the final one they put out. Only 350 examples of these worldwide, and it boasts 20 brake horsepower over and above the standard SLS. And this particular variant, being a right-hand drive coupe, is one of only 6 UK cars to ever have been built. This particular car was sold by Romans International. It's got great provenance and it's only done 4,500 miles. An absolute belter. The final edition has carbon bonnet, carbon absolutely everywhere, carbon all over the interior, an updated aerodynamic rear wing as well, and as I say, updated power as well. You've also got a better gearbox and engine software that they put in as well to mean faster shifts and stops that rocking that the earlier SLSs were guilty of, my car included. Anyway, I absolutely love this car. I could talk about it all day. It's beautiful. It's lot number 169, and whoever wins this car is winning a surefire investment grade car. I love it. We've got some other cars right next to it to talk about, so let's go see what else there is. So then lot number 216 is this 458 Italia. Italia meaning that it's basically the coupe variant. Unbelievable car, and to my mind, peak Ferrari. It's modern enough to benefit from all the technology they've drawn across from Formula One, but not so modern that that visceral enjoyment and driver involvement has been ruined by silly batteries and whatnot. So I absolutely love these. They sound amazing, they look amazing. They're the last design in their V8 sports car done by Pininfarina, which actually will tie me into that car in a second, which we'll get onto. But it's beautiful specification. It's only done 12,000 miles. It's got carbon everywhere inside. It's got the comfort seats. It's got yellow stitching, yellow brakes, the perfect specification. It's absolutely unmarked throughout. And this is a good buy. I don't see these going anywhere in value other than creeping up over the coming years. This is seen to be, by pretty much every automotive enthusiast, peak Ferrari. So I love these. It's a 2013 car. They're bulletproof. Get bidding. Why I don't have one, I don't know. I had one in the past and I should have just kept it. This, however, is a 612, completely different, but also shares some similarities. Designed by Pininfarina, naturally aspirated engine, but the engine is just in a different place. It's front engine, it's a V12, it's left-hand drive, it's perfect for summer cruising across the continent, and what a wafter. It's also got back seats. Now, let's go and find my next car, which is in here somewhere. Time for something slightly different then, from a different part of Europe and a completely different type of car. Lot number 219 is this Boxster Spyder. This is the first time Porsche actually made a Boxster Spyder. It's 80 kilograms lighter than a Boxster S. It's 1,275 kilos. It's only got 10 brake horsepower more, but the key with this car is lightweight and a different suspension setup as well. You've obviously got the famed roof on the Boxster Spyder that takes an engineering degree to put up and down, but that's part of the charm. This particular car is amazingly spec'd. It's got the manual gearbox, which in my mind is an absolute must in these, and you've also got the wonderful carbon folding buckets, which is my favourite Porsche seat. It's only done 19,500 miles. It was first registered in 2011, and this is kind of like a mini Carrera GT, if you like. I love these. I think the design looks amazing. It's getting better with age, and it's just a great buy. Residually as well, I think they're going to be good news. Estimate is 40 to 50 grand, so a great driver's car to take into Europe, just as long as it doesn't rain. Last but very definitely not least is this 1971 Porsche 911. That's what it started life at anyway, with over £275,000 having been spent on this car. It really is something special, and not something I'm going to be able to do even a smidgen of justice in this little synopsis here. You've got to go and check out the full specification on this car because it's FIA homologated. As I say, it's had £275,000 spent on it, and it really has wanted for absolutely nothing. As someone who is currently going through a Porsche short wheelbase, looks similar, a 912 from 1966, I can tell you the pain and expense that has gone into this would be absolutely biblical. Fully approved for racing by the FIA, this currently is in fast road setting. couple of spanners, a couple of tweaks, and you'll be back to being track focused once again. So it's currently in fast road setup, but it's got absolutely everything. The interior is a work of art. Roll cage in here, full bare metal respray, full bare metal paintwork, absolutely everything. It's unbelievable what has been done here, but also keeping that original 1971 911 charm. Please do go and read the full specification on this, because I've really not done it any justice whatsoever. That is lot number 218. That is on site, but it really is really special. Probably one of the nicest, well-built, most meticulous builds I've ever seen come through Historics Auctions. This is a screamer. The estimate is 140 to 180 grand, so around half what this would cost you. I reckon it'd be about 350 if you wanted to do this yourself. Just before I go, actually, I do want to touch on this if I've got time. Currently going through an inspection. We're kind of at an open day at the moment, so people are coming in inspecting the cars. This is a Cayman R, really rare car. As track toys go with a Porsche badge on it, this is one of the ones to have. Renowned as one of the best driving Porsches you can buy. Cayman R's are great, it's PDK as well, so absolute belt around the track. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Let's go find Vicky, wherever she is, and I'll hand over to her.
From 1966, this is a Mini Cooper S Mark I. Under the bonnet is a 1275cc engine, and it is decorated in this beautiful island blue with the Old English white roof. This particular car has been to Florida, Japan and England. It's been converted over to right-hand drive and has had a nut and bolt restoration on it. It is perfect for any Italian job wannabe. Alternatively, if you're into noddy, then how about this? A 1972 Fiat Gamine Vignale. It is at no reserve, so it could be yours for not a huge amount of cash. The 1980s are my favourite decade, and from 1984, this is a Ferrari 512 BBI, a Boxster Berlinetta injection. There is a fuel injection system on the V12. Now, only 48 right-hand drive models were made, and this particular car was the demonstrator for Maranello concessionaires. It will be around 160 to 175,000 pounds when the hammer goes down at auction, and perhaps once you have bought your Ferrari, you might like to buy a plane. This is a 1970s acrobatic plane, and it has got such a cool name, but it's so long I had to write it down. It's called the Oldfield Super Baby Great Lakes, and it could be yours for between 14 to 16,000 pounds. Now, I have to let you into a little secret, because this is my favourite car of this particular auction. It's a 1991 Vauxhall Lotus Carlton, and when it was made, it was the fastest four-door saloon car in the world. 177 miles an hour. This particular one has got its imperial green colour on the outside, and it's got a black leather trim inside. I can't begin to tell you how much I would like it. If you fancy having a bid, it will be on sale at around 59 to 70,000 pounds. From 2014, may I present to you the Audi R8. Now, they did make the R8 with a V8 and a V10 engine. This here has got the V10, and you can see it beautifully through this glass screen here. 0 to 60 happens in 3.5 seconds, and it could all be yours for the estimate is between 56 and 66,000 pounds.
Thank you, Vicky. Right, on to my first pick. Now, this is lot 220, and it's not just any R107 SL. This particular car is in time warp condition. Why? Because it's only done 2,700 miles from new. It is absolutely as if it's just left the showroom. It's got its hard top, it's got that wonderful 3-litre straight 6 engine. The interior is unmarked, unsurprisingly. Now, we've got this guided 73 to 85, which seems like an awful lot for an R107, but when they are this low mileage, they are quite possibly the most collectible in the country. I must admit, I'm going to be watching very keenly to see if there's any kind of auction record going on here. I do like it in the gleaming white with the blue text. To me, I think top estimate's probably very achievable. Next up, I've really got a bit of penchant for an M5. Now, this is an E39, lot 115. It's 22 to 29,000 pounds. but have you ever seen one in this velvet blue before? It's probably the colour to capture one in. The current owner sent 3 of these and was waiting and waiting and waiting to purchase this particular car. It's got that lovely contrasting trim, 18 service stamps. It's a real find. It's very rare in these colourways. M5s are fantastic cars. This is just as they started to get some of the electrics into it, which I think is possibly a sadder point, but it's still got that manual gearbox, that thumping great big engine. They're a great car. Super saloons is the catchword. And from one BMW M5, right next door is the E60, the later, more tech modified car. This one, of course, with a V10 engine, and interestingly, converted to a manual gearbox. One for Tom to keep an eye out, because I know he wanted to do this to a 6 Series. Relatively low mileage, 58,000 miles, 22 to 28. So a couple of M5s, might we keep an eye on those two? Right, next up is something I've always admired, never been quite brave enough to buy. Most TVRs are a bit of a brave pill. Now this is the Speed 6. This is 21 to 28 and it looks absolutely stunning. Stood still. Most TVRs do, but this generation have got oodles and oodles of style. Equally inside, they're like spaceships. The buttons for opening the windows and the doors, if you don't know where they are impossible to find. But once you do, they're amazingly fun. This particular car, as I say, 21 to 28, it's in a beautiful colour. I think they're iconic and will be iconic for years to come. It does take a bit of brave to buy one and to drive one, but there isn't much else that's that impressive than when you're driving a TVR with that noise behind you. Now, I've also noticed to my right is this Ferrari. Now this is lot 179 308 GTS. I know a little bit about this car. The chap who consigned it, privately owned, 48 to 58 is its guide price. It's an original right-hand drive manual car. It's in beautiful condition with an impressive service record. It is one of the better cars I've seen, privately owned and really well cared for. And of course with that Targa top, it does look the part. It's definitely one of the better 308s I've seen, and if I was interested in that era of Ferrari, you must come and have a look at it. It's a very, very good car, that. Last and not least, and I've taken the power away this time, it's gone with this beautiful little Fiat 500 by Francis Lombardi. It's called a My Car. Now what they actually did was they sent the shells to My Car, to Francis Lombardi, to then, in effect, create a slightly bespoke, or let's say coach-built version of the Fiat 500. They got these absolutely unusual rods here, give a little bit more space. The car's no reserve. It was actually restored in 2015 and it's in wonderful condition. They've got lots of little bespoke features you'll see with these Francis Lombardi cars. We think it's sort of £7,000 to £10,000. Any Fiat 500 is great value. They're good fun to drive. Yes, you're not going to win any speed races and you certainly won't be keeping up with TVRs, but you'll have just as much fun going very, very slow. I think that's a great car.
Well, that is just a few of the wonderful machines on offer here at the Farnborough International Exhibition Centre. Please come and see us. The preview days are today. We're open till 5 o'clock. Also tomorrow, Friday, from 9 till 5. The auction itself starts at 9:30 on Saturday. You can bid online. You can watch it online or here at Farnborough. In order to bid, though, you do need to pre-register. So please do that in person here this week or online.
Make sure, finally, you are subscribed on YouTube, you're following on Instagram, and you're following on all podcast platforms as well, because we filmed a podcast here earlier, which will be out in a few days or a few weeks. It'll be out soon anyway, but the upshot is, I think this may well be Vicki and I's last video. We may well be fired as a result of what we said on that podcast, so make sure you don't miss that. Hopefully I'm joking. Matthew, am I joking? Remains to be seen. For now, I think that's it.
I do too. Bye-bye.
Bye.